Welcome back everybody, this is Space Engineers Permadeath Survival. You're with me, Cy Prime, and this episode what we're going to be doing is building a jump drive system for this small grid ship. And I know what you're saying already, jump drive's a large grid, yes, and this ship is small grid and we've not got super gridding turned on. So what we're going to have to do is build some sort of another craft that can hold this craft, that we can then transfer ourselves from here to the other craft with the jump drive on in order to pilot it and do our jumps and aim stuff and all that. We could also potentially investigate remote control of the whole thing. That's something that never used to work, but maybe it does now. So we're going to learn all about jump drives in this episode, and we're going to build something that can attach to this ship, or this ship can attach to, and we can then go hopping about to Earth-like alien planet and finish the rest of our resource gathering. So let's get on with some experimentation to start with. So the first things we're going to need is the materials to build. Well, let's see, how do we experiment with a jump drive? We can't operate one inside of the gravity field. And if we try to operate one outside the gravity field, we're going to need to expend a lot of power to do it. So maybe what we do is we build this thing with remote control and cockpit, so we can test both, and if one of them doesn't work, we just get rid of it. We know that the cockpit's going to work, so it's either the remote control stays or it goes. I think the first thing we need to do is consider how we're going to measure this thing up. So I'm going to build a little measuring stick. So the back of the ship is right about here. So we're going to call that one block here. Let's just put them on here for the minute. Right, so that's the... Oops, freezes. That's the connector that we're attached to. And then we're just going to measure stick all the way to the front until we're clear of all the drills, and probably put one on the front for good measure. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we are 7 blocks long. That comes below that. That's good. How tall are we? 1, 2 already. Have to put a little ramp on there. Right, we're definitely above 2 tall, so we're going to have to go 3 tall. And that's before we even place anything else in there. We could go 3 and use half blocks on the top there. It could potentially work with... Yeah, that's not good. Yeah, it's definitely at least 1, 2.5 tall. Right, okay. So we've got our 7 by 2.5. And we need the width. 1, 2. We're starting from just outside it, so we're only counting the inside blocks. 3, 4, 5. Okay, so we're 5 wide. So it's 7 by 5 by, call it 3. So whatever we build has to be able to cradle a 7 by 5 by 3 shape. We know that that is about, well, 1, 2, 3, 5 wide is a single large grid block. Because you can see it kind of there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's 3 plus 2, that's 5, and plus 2 again. So the middle part here, that's actually 5 in the middle between these drills is one large grid block. This is important. We have to work out our measurements, work out what sort of stuff we have to avoid with this build, what we're likely to cook off if we're not careful. Let's have a look at the top. Haven't given myself a way back up. but I could probably jump on to there and jump up. Maybe I can jump up to there. Yes. Right. So that's 5 from that to that. That's one large grid block across here. Now we have no major thrusters in that whole central space until we get to this one, which is what, like, let's count the blocks from here. That's 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's one whole large. We're one large grid block from the back of there, then the one there, so it's 5 in front from here. So we can go back as far as 5 as well. I don't think we're going to be connecting via connector unless we actually put one on at the end. It's going to have to go over the top if we are, because around the bottom, yeah, we could do the bottom actually. If we come in through the bottom instead and we sort of land into the top of it, we only have to avoid this one thruster here. So let's work out the measurements for that. So let's say we're starting from, well, we were starting from this. Can I go all the way across here? No, I can't. Right, so that's one. Let's do the local grid line. Yeah. Okay, so that's 1 in the front. 2. 3 would get cooked off. So we can go 2, and then we have to split off 1 on either side of the middle and come down maybe another 2. It's going to be, yeah, okay. That's certainly doable. Right, okay, we have a basic idea what sort of specification we're using here, and luckily, oh, this is, I think this is like fog almost. It decreases our output. Now we just need to figure out where the heck we're going to build this thing. I'm just going to use this as like a basis to stand it on. I think we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 block space there. Yeah, okay, so we can build in that space. And use this as just a means of getting in and out of it, because it's easily accessible if I do that. Okay. Right, so we know for a fact, well, the jump drive itself is going to be absolutely enormous. We don't have one on our bar yet, so I'm going to place a jump drive on here. Joint. Jump drives. We're not using merge blocks for this build. Right, so a jump drive is 3. Like an enormous... Well, let's just put one in on here, so we can measure it. So it's... Get out of the way. Right, it's 3 long by 3 tall by 2 wide. It's that 2 wide that's going to be somewhat tricky to work with. So this thing's going to be quite tall. Now, being 3 wide, that's our middle space, and the one on either side, which we can land on. And our 3 deep is this space, and it encroaches on there. So it's going to have to come out the front a little bit.
Energy low.
Energy. Good planning is important when you're doing a build like this, because, you know, it's a lot of work. You don't want to mess it up straight away. You don't want to cook off something like a jump drive, which has got a lot of very valuable materials either. And we certainly don't want it to crash either with this. Right, so we'll take this off here for a minute. Now we know it's going to go into this space somewhere. I'm going to have to build this higher because the jump drive is at least 2. So we need 2 above this ground level here. So we're going to go put that on there, take you off. put... I could just do that, yeah. Build off that. Right. So that's our jump drive space. I wanted it so I can get on top of it. Right. Now let's see if there's an anchor point on here. Right, we want to come out ahead of this thing, so... Yeah, if we anchor into the middle like that... That's about as good as that's going to get. So that's going to sit underneath the nose. It's going to come out maybe one space ahead. Let's figure that out. So, yeah, we're going to need to go local grid align. Hey, there's good uses for this. That's great. Because this is aligned to this grid here, which is already aligned to where that is, and so on. So, right, if we go from, well, that's... is that the furthest back we can get with that? Is that going to cook it? Yeah, it most certainly is. So that's a dummy one. We can't use that block. So it's going to go 1, 2, 2, 3. Okay, so that's space there. Not including that one. Right, so this is the space for the jump drive. Let's just place... Let's just map this out. I need to be on that one actually. 2. This is not staying here. This is literally just so I can visualize. Right. So that's the space that the jump drive is taking up. Obviously it's going deeper than that, but that's the surface area of it. Which means that what I can actually do is I could put a cockpit on here. And it'll sit there just nicely. And we part the ship in, just boom, straight just in front of the cockpit. In front of its door. That gives a little bit of room. Not a lot. We probably need a bit of wiggle room to sort of scooch back a little bit. Just so we're not so onto it. Now, obviously this ship's not going to be able to charge the batteries on that thing. So it's going to need a lot of power to recharge between goes. What we're probably going to need to do is put some solars on it. So we jump to where we're going, hopefully have enough batteries to get to where we're fully going, and then the solars will charge it up the rest of the way while we're doing what we're doing at the other end. And then hopefully by the time we've got what we want to do done on, say, the alien planet or Earth, like, then we come back to it, it's charged up again. So at least until we get our reactors, and then we can charge much quicker. Right, that's that space. Okay, that's fine. Right, we'll keep that there for now, just as reference. So that means on the front of there, on that space, or the space in front. I think the space in front actually. Let's give ourselves some room for things like thrusters and things. So we're going to place a single block, kind of like, not one of them. That, and we're gonna just tidy that in. Yeah, okay. This is similar to our bomb droppy sort of bit. I'm gonna put the cockpit on the front of there, so I need a cockpit. We could go with that one, or we could go with that one. I think that one's more useful. Not available. Oxygen in the cockpit, or do we just rely on our own oxygen tank? It might make sense to rely on that. Okay, I'll take that one onto here anyway because it is the universal one, so I can see that's got, yeah, a door on the back, nothing on the top, and a thing on the front. That actually does make the most sense, but only if I swap that out there potentially for something a bit more useful, like a conveyor block. So I'm actually going to put a conveyor block on the front of there. Maybe we just do that, because the other ones look a bit weird anyway. Our materials are so far away. Nearly fell down the hole again. Okay. So... Oh. Wow. Let's see which one we put in here. I only need... I kind of really... Yeah. Maybe something like that. And then on the front of that we can place a cover. I want this to look kind of funky and industrial-ish. Yeah, okay. That kind of means we don't really need that, but we'll probably keep that on. Missed. It's getting light. This means we're going to have sunshine soon. And I can turn off my... Not yet. Maybe not yet. Right. So let's pop this goofy looking cockpit on there. I think I want... I am going to greeble a little bit on this because I just don't want it to look really rubbish. I've never memorized all of these blocks. Never did. Probably never will. There's just so many of them. Ish, that's the closest we've got to that fits there. Yeah, that's not too bad actually. Just trying to make that look a little less goofy. Right, okay, that's good there. Now what I'm going to need is plates on here because I'm going to be landing on this and I don't want to risk damaging the actual jump drive. So we're going to plate that up. Now we are going to paint this before we go. And we need to do something while the batteries charge up. Speaking of which, we're going to need to put batteries on this thing. Lots. And that in itself is a small problem because batteries are heavy. That thing is going to have to do all the lifting on this unless we also build in some kind of preliminary hydrogen thruster system that we could drop back down here and reuse later. That's certainly a possibility. Should certainly consider it.
Energy low.
Yep, energy. Right, let's go get some. I know I can get energy in there, but I also need materials, so I'm going to do both. Now, I'm aware I'm taking materials out that I need for the jump drive, but they're being rebuilt as we do it, so that's the beauty of the auto crafting mod. Well, script, whatever. I hadn't pulled any resources for that. Let's just do this one at a time. Cool. Now the beauty of that is because it has a door and you always get out the same place you get in. So I'm considering this kind of my walkie around getting in and out space, and then the ship will start around here. That means we could technically just transfer straight from one to the next, but I do want to have a little grav gen on here potentially. Just, yeah, just to give us a bit of like choice of how we get in and out and a bit of room for error. Right, okay, so we're taking that. Right. This bit I am going to put something to do with oxygen on there at some point, but I've got to figure out how we're going to go about doing that shortly. Okay, so I'm going to build this jump drive. Have we got access to cargo over here? Yes, I do. Because this is going to be a lot of back and forth. Squat. Can't squat and run at the same time. It's kind of obvious, really. Oh, this is going to take so long. Oh, I can just run into that. Oh my god, this takes so long. Been running back and forth for a couple of minutes now. That's the last bit. Let's finish off the jump drive itself, because it's going to need to charge as well. It's probably going to drain the batteries. Oh, there's a good point. It's going to drain the base's batteries, which could prevent us from doing stuff. I'm going to have to turn recharge off, actually. We can't risk using up all of our base power until we know that we've finished building everything we need to build right now. Right, there's our jump drive. Absolute massive lump of a thing. It's huge. Right, okay, good. So that's that bit. This is not going to be sleek and elegant as we initially hoped. It's going to be a pig with a ship on top. But hopefully we can make it look kind of cool without sort of overdoing it and making it too heavy to lift. Right, so that's that bit. We need batteries. That's absolute critical. So referring back to here, there are places we don't want to put batteries, like for example in this space, and the space is round about here. So we actually have room like right here and here. So let's work out how many spaces we can put batteries in. That one's a no, so I'm just going to place a block under each of these. Right, so one there and one there, that's good. Good for them. They're a little close to these thrusters here, but if I park right we should be okay. One there, and we'll put some plate over the top of them. That's 2. Now that's technically 4 actually, because we can go either side down here. We can't really go any more because we're going to be under these thrusters here and getting cooked off occasionally. So we can have 4 initial batteries on it. I have no idea how many batteries there are to charge one of these. So 3,000 kilowatt hours. How much will a battery hold? I think it's the same actually, which means each battery is a full charge of that thing. 3,000 kilowatt hours. Okay, so each one battery is one shot of our jump drive, with the exception of obviously running costs and all of that. So let us place some batteries on. I think 4 will be enough. If it takes more than 3 jumps, we need to just simply wait for things to charge back up. If my ship can lift this, it'll be an absolute miracle. That's actually 8. That might be too many. Maybe we can lose one of each side actually. Yeah, 4 batteries, plenty. Okay, so that's that. 1, 2, 3, 4. These are going to take forever to weld as well, because they're heavy. So we're making power cells right now. We can't make more thruster components because of the cobalt. That is the thing I mentioned before. So I think our first trip before we go to the alien planet with this thing is going to be to there, so we can get more cobalt. The alternative is doing a 5,000 kilometer trip back to Pertam to a cobalt mine that is so close to the enemy that it's actually dangerous. We are going to go to the Earth-like. So yeah, we need to consider how we're going to do our thrusters. We probably got enough thrusters in the most important directions. Probably can't double up on them like we wanted to on all directions, but we can certainly get enough thrust to maneuver. I mean, most of what this thing's going to do is stand still, point and like jump, but I need to be able to sort of maneuver it for parking. You know, put it somewhere safe, attached to an asteroid that we can find again. Right, I've got to somehow figure out how we're going to make it so that the whole thing's dockable, because I need the means to be able to transfer oxygen into its system. Ooh. That could be problematic, actually. There's no piping from all the way around there. What we might actually have to occasionally do is dip it into the vagueness of atmosphere. If we can get this thing in and out, out of here, which, to be honest, if we can't, then we need to think of something else anyway. But if we can get this out of here, we can also dip it into Earth's atmosphere to replenish any oxygen when it's needed. It won't be very often that we need to do that. We might need to do it initially because there's no oxygen here to pull. Batteries, they take so long to build. I'm probably going to have cut most of this out. Stick around to the end, by the way, because I do have a little bit of an announcement to make. Yeah, guess all you want right now. I'm not telling you. You have to wait till the end. Here we go. Oh, that one's nowhere near. Okay, can I jump off that? Yeah. Okay, they're built. Right, I can place that on there and that on there. Okay, that's the very most basics of it. Actually, with this, I don't really think we need to do the remote control thing. But it would be cool to experiment it. I want to know, with PC, does a remote control trigger a jump drive? Because I know they were originally specifically designed so that you have to be on a cockpit in an actual ship that it's part of to make it work, so that people can't like trigger something and then like have it go off with, like as like a remote control jump drive bomb. I think that's what they were trying to solve by doing that rule. Okay, right, so we've got this in here. If we're going to put a remote control on it, we need to find somewhere to stash that block. I can't put it there, it's going to get cooked off. Blur. I wonder if I was to pull that out. Okay, I think it is connected on the sides by that thing. Good. That means I can put an O2 tank right there. Because O2 tanks have a pass-through. I don't have room otherwise. I need a gyro on it. Oh, we need a lot of things on this. Okay, we'll stick the oxygen tank there. Right. I mean, technically we might not need a gyro because we could use the gyro on our ship, but if we're in that cockpit controlling it, we can't be controlling the gyro in the ship, so... And I don't want to be doing that whole back and forth thing, and when I'm docked in on the top of that, I'm really not going to have the ability to control the thing so well. Okay, there's that. Okay, so I need a vent on the bottom of here. Let's do it that way. And that's intersected the ground. There can't be any semblance of an intersection. Otherwise, when I take this off and turn it into a ship, it'll explode bits. That's fine. Right. Let's get that welded up. So, yeah, we're going to need... I don't think we need lights. Maybe we should have one at least for when we do come to park it. We're going to need some kind of... I think we're going to need some sort of like a grabber sticky thing. So we can actually dock it properly. Magnetic plate. Do we want the plate? Let's just put a massive beefy plate on the front. No, that's going to be way too heavy. Mag plate. Let's just go for the little one then. Because that is just way too friggin' big. Just going to put a couple of these on. One there, one there. That also protects the... No. 2, yeah. It also protects the tanks, so that's fine. No lights on my boat at all. Just goes to show where my priorities lie. Right, light. Which one's got everything on it? That one. You'll do. I'm not going to put a big spotlight on though. I'm going to put... ooh, a light panel. No, won't fit. Oh, it will fit. But we need room for some actual thrusters. I'm probably going to have to take these off. Yeah, I'm not too keen on that little design element now that certain things have changed. Can I reach you? Oh, I think I can. No. Right, good. That leaves space for thrust there. That's fine. Gyroscope. Let's see, where do we leave for a gyroscope? Nowhere. Nowhere at all. This is where things become a bit so I'm going to have to think about gyroscopes here. So this is the space we've used. Oh, actually no, we didn't. We've only gone to this far. We didn't put the second row of batteries in, which means we do have another space on each side of there, like here and here. Do we have a space there? What's there? Oof. It's that thruster there, which is our mouth thrust. I think if I put one all the way at the bottom here, that thrust is probably just going to miss it. Yeah. Gyroscope right there. Right, now at this point I've got to hope I've got the metal grids to build this thing. Because we're out of cobalt. And if we don't, which it's looking a lot like we don't, yeah, I'm going to have to start finding cobalt somewhere. Metal grids, how many do we actually not have? None. We have absolutely none. Okay, deconstruction time of stuffs. I need to tell autocrafting.
Energy low.
I know. Which one is... IIM. Right, there we are. Okay. So... And I know the energy's low. Okay. There's one little thing in here to change. Auto disassembling. True. True that. I did not just say that. Right, so now anything where it's over the limit, it's going to start deconstructing. I'm probably going to have to deconstruct some thruster components. Grav components need cobalt a lot. We might have to do away with our extra grav components. We have 10 sitting there. What we can probably do is do away with the idea of having the grav gen on this. For now. Oh. This is why I shouldn't wait. So we're literally taking 4 sides down to a single thruster and having 2 sides left with a double thruster. G remote. We could do with a new remote control block, to be honest. Which way's... right, it needs to be facing forward. It's that way. This is probably going to get cooked eventually, but it'll live long enough for me to do this experiment. The consequences for a remote controllable jump drive. That's interesting. I mean, that could literally mean remote control warheads. Well, they're very expensive warheads, but like jumpable giant bombs you could jump into battle. Sort of. You know, jump it behind enemy lines and then send it in. Right, let's put another one of these on top. I need the materials to do so. And then we just need the antenna on here and literally thrusters, and that's basically it. Okay, so that's that. Antenna can go... Sod knows where the antenna can go, honestly. There really isn't much room for that sort of thing. We'll have to put it off the back of here. Antenna... I'll put it there. It is going to get cooked because that literally... That thruster there... literally straddles the line over there. Oh, actually, no, it's well and truly over this one, isn't it? But if I'm parking this slightly back, it's going to be right over this edge. So it's going to have to go next to... Am I standing or am I crouching? Standard, right. Antenna. Have we still got that on the bar? Yes. Too big. Just a bit more like it. It's about the smallest antenna you can get. So, place it... Oh, I should have placed it lower so I can at least reach it. Radio components are heavy. This is just adding a lot of weight to the build, but I mean, I've got to have faith that this thing can carry it, because it can carry a hell of a lot of resources and still fly with ease. As long as it's not carrying resources at the same time, I think we should be alright. Once we get out of, like, gravity, it's trivial. I could do this from the top, but whatever. There we go. Good. So, that's that. Now, when it comes to cutting this thing off, it's just going to fall straight down and land itself on that. If I try to cut it off while I'm attached to it with my ship, I might not get on it in a hurry. I think I've dug... Yeah, I think I might have dug that down enough. I think what I'm going to do is maybe put some sort of a little platform down that it can't stick to. That should support it when I cut it off, which I'm not going to do just yet. I do need those batteries to fully charge up, which buys me a little bit of time to think about colour. Yeah, I think that looks quite good. Okay, so that's that for now. I need to put thrusters on this, so let's get some thrusters on my bar. Now, I wanted to go with the... not the sci-fis, the warfares. Regular size ones. For the time being. I'm going to have to also try and find some way of putting some... oh god, they're massive. The regular size ones are huge. Okay. Two... I could have put them on the side here, actually. Yeah, I can't use the mags with that there. So I'm going to have to place them on the sides of these. I'm going to take that off there. That's still connected. I'm going to place That way. That way. Yep. Super duper simple. Right, and here I've got room for the sideways directions, so as long as I stay off the middle.
Meteor storm inbound.
Okay, you're coming from that way. Always comes from the sun side. So, where are you? Oh, they're coming from there. Oh, and there. No, I know a lot of you say that you've never ever ever seen something hit by one of these. I have. It's not often, but it does happen. It's devastating. Well, it's not like super like end of the world devastating, but it could take out a really important thing. So yeah, still worth having those defenses in. I'm glad I've got them. Right, so I've got my forward back. I need one in each other direction now. So this is where we go up. I would have really liked to put down on there, but that silly thing's right there. You are so annoying, Mr. Compact Antenna. Okay, I'm gonna have to move the antenna, I think. I just don't think it's gonna do there. Yeah, I'm not super duper happy with that where it is. It is literally in the way. And we're only using it for an experiment. We're not keeping it on. Right, so I'm going to first put my other thruster on. So up, down. So I've got forward, right, forward, there, back, up, down. Do I need left and right? Really? Maybe. It would probably be advantageous. So I can put left and right on here. Right, is anything looking like it's going to cook itself off? Nope. 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 And no. Wonderful. Right, okay, that's good. And I think I can put my antenna right there for now. Thruster placement, especially with large thrusters on a very small ship, difficult. Especially if you want to try and make it look good. Which I would hazard a guess at this I've failed at. Cannot withdraw 20... Cannot withdraw 20 radio components, probably because radio components are... How many have I got set on here? 10. Yeah, okay. I have a feeling I was halfway through a sentence just then. Oh yeah. I was saying that I've probably failed to make this look good. Problem is I can't really greeble it up until I know I've got a load of excess like lift to spare. It's just not possible to... I can probably do 2 of these at a time maybe. Never stand facing the hot end of a thruster, even if you think you've turned it off. You just might not have done. Oh. Don't want to be burning power when they're useless. Ion thrusters not good in gravity. Lower than 0.25% gravity, they become practical. But yeah, you can kind of get away with them up to... Actually, I think there's a risk of those big thrusters there cooking these off, but I'm just going to have to deal with it. Okay, so these aren't going to give a lot of protection against getting cooked off, but they'll guard against any little upsies or, you know, like just a brief thrust off sort of effect, which we're going to have when we try to lift off this thing. Also, take off. It's going to be absolutely really hammering the thrust. I think we're going to have like a novel approach to doing takeoff. Yeah, because these are right over the top of where these are going to be. And I've got nowhere else really to put them. Because we're already, what, Arth? 1, 4, 5, 6. We only have like one block's room at the back before we actually get to the back of this thing. And we're at about the same width as that now. So like, they're almost a mirror image of each other. It's also the same height, give or take a little bit. When we come to actually using this to lift this, I'm probably going to have to sort of pick it up from an edge with all these thrusters turned off.
Energy low.
Yep, energy should do that first. Which means I'm probably going to have to put some sort of a mag plate on the front of my ship and just use that to lift it until we get up to space. Once we're up to space, it's not really going to be a problem. We'll have to see. So I'm going to have to place a mag plate right there. Luckily, I have one on my bar. It doesn't have to be a big mag plate. It just has to be one that works. Right. Let's put my mag plate on my bar. Which one is it? I'm going to have to name it. I'm going to call it my doofus plate. Because I'm a doofus and that's why I need it. Right, so here I'm going to need to fill up my hydrogen. Could be pretty dramatic if we don't. There'll be a point at no return, in which case like it's going to be a crash landing or we get out. I'll have to decide at that point. I don't even know what that point is, but you know, it's there. At some point, if I leave these thrusters on, so we can pick it up sideways, if I leave these thrusters on, and we'll turn the gyroscope off for the moment, then what we could actually do is have these thrusters assist once we get to a certain altitude. There's not a lot of thrust pointing up and down. It's only like one there. Solar panels. Maybe I should have put solar panels on instead of all of these plates. A solar panel is what? 1, 2, 3, 4 by 2. 1, 2, 3, 4 by 2. So this is basically going to be a pickup truck. Not quite the transit that was suggested by Macca's, but it's in a similar vein. If I was trying to make this any bigger than this to actually fully enclose my ship in any way, it's not going to be liftable. I would have to make this a whole ship of its own, in which case I wouldn't even need that. So this is an accessory for that, even though it's bigger and heavier probably. Right, solar's on, so we have the means to create power, which no matter how slow that power comes in, it's still independence of some sort. These are draining. I'm gonna have to put these on charge. Yeah, okay. Right, so we're going to be using that to pick this up very unceremoniously by maybe the top of that thruster in the corner. We're going to have to do it at a weird angle so that we don't cook everything off, providing that hasn't turned all the way around here and gets in the way. And then hope we can lift it. I have no idea how heavy it is. It's still attached to the base, so it won't tell me. Where are we at now? 90%, 90.4. Really, really close now. There we go. Is this on now? Yep, that's on. I'm going to have to be really careful with the whole solar panel thing here because it's swung itself around in a way I didn't really want it to. I think it's going to keep turning this way. So, yeah, we're just going to be really careful with that. So we need to go charge mode off, tanks are already off, stockpile, so that's fine. Right, let's pick a spot to pick it up on. Let's try and stay clear of that. I think if I just do it here, that's fine. It's at a funny angle, so I'm going to have to sort of level up with it. Try and get it central if I can, for weight distribution purposes. Okay, thrusters are a bit iffy, but I think we should be okay. I don't like that. Right, that's that, and we're tilting in a funny direction. I think we just avoided serious damage there. Our damage screen's got nothing on it. Don't know if we did any damage to the base, but I don't think we hit anything. We're not drifting too much, so it's going to go into pulsing. So while I'm doing this, I'm going to tell you about what I've got planned. So a few people have asked about Discord channels. Do we have a Discord channel? And the answer so far has always been not yet. Well, very soon the answer is going to be yes. We do have a Discord channel. It's still under construction right now. Still like putting all the rules and everything together on it and making sure that all the roles and everything are fine. Now, I bet you're wondering, why do we need roles on there? Well, we're also going to have a little bit of a membership thing on YouTube. Now, it's totally optional. You're not going to lose out on much if you don't become a member, but if you do become a member, you'll have rights to go into live plays with us. I'll be occasionally on and you can watch on some of those occasions and even talk to me, give me ideas. Other people may just be spectators only, so if you want to be able to contribute, that'll be a member's perk. But also there'll be invites to our top tier members for coming along and actually having a gameplay session, doing some sort of a build together on occasion. So I'm still working out the details on like how often we're going to be doing all of that and any exclusive videos, sort of behind the scenes stuff. I don't want to make the main content pay to view. It's definitely not going to go down that road. The only sort of content I'm going to be putting behind the membership wall would be any kind of like backstage stuff, you know, the sort of behind the curtains, how this is filmed, you know, all the bits that we cut out, any of that sort of stuff that goes on that just, you know, would normally make an episode a bit too long, and any kind of live things that we do towards a video, maybe. So yeah, something for you to look forward to. It's not going to be expensive, but for those of you that don't want to pay, you'll still have something to get out of the Discord channel. You'll be able to discuss your builds, you'll be able to share, you'll be able to contribute in all of the other channels on there and talk to the rest of the community. So I do hope we see a lot of you along. I will be announcing when that's going live in one of these episodes, probably in the next 2 weeks. So keep an eye on these videos, and I'll let you know when you can join in and share a link with you. Right, we're now at 0.16 Gs right now, 23 kilometers up. We've still got a little ways to go, but it's much easier now, and we're at 69. Nice. Hydrogen. Just gotta watch out that we don't bump into any asteroids above us. Really wouldn't want to go flying up into one of these. I'm not as mobile as before, so anything kind of just behind me I'm not going to see so easily. What I could potentially do is start angling myself so I can use my rear thrusters. But that large ion is not going to be helping much then. The gaps between these asteroids is so big, I'm just going to hope that we're okay. Okay, we're at equilibrium now, speed-wise. Oh, we're actually time to stop now. Zero. We are stopped. Good. Right, so now what I need to do is very carefully, I need to unlock. Right. So dampeners are on right now. What I need to do, what I'm going to do actually is get myself landed on here if I can. Ideally in such a way that's not going to cause any major troubles. Right, first thing I want to do is definitely turn off all those thrusters and just put the mavs on. Right, I need to go into a camera and back out just to straighten my view. Now I can just look straight down. Now, the solar panels are not going to do a lot while I'm parked on this thing, but it certainly will help. Okay, we're on, and we're not moving. Should be good. I can turn thrusters off now. Nope, that's not right. Now they're all off. Right, here's the risky bit. We're not moving, so I should be safe to just disconnect. Now, I can't move. Oh, that's not very good, is it? Locked is locked, though. I think that should be fine. It's double locked, so I can get it to here now. Oh, actually, no. No, not yet. Yeah, good. We can at least transfer between. So now I can turn the gyro on and I can move around quite easily. Now we're going to the Earth-like. Oh, why can't I move? Batteries. Oh, they're all on recharge. There we go. Right. That's way too powerful. Jump gyro needs to be like way lower. Still very powerful. Yeah, way lower. Yeah, that's more manageable. Right, so we're going to jump towards the Earth-like planet. Straight line. Dampeners are on right now. Thrusters need to be on. Is that the whole group? Oh, actually, I need to turn one of the thrusters back on. Because that one I manually turned off. There we go. Right, so now we can put that back on charge. We're at 47% charge on the jump drive, so we just got to wait a little bit for that to fully charge up. It looks like the charging it's been doing was just purely off solar. Now that we're lined up, what I'm going to try doing is remote controlling in. So, okay, ollie jumper, control. Now on here I just need to put jump drive controls as well. So, jump, recharge on off, decrease distance and increase distance. That's the only control I really want on here. I can still move it around as well. So we'll soon see if we're able to actually jump this. Maximum is 2,000. That's pretty good. I can't go any higher than that. So we can jump all the way to, nearly all the way to Earth-like. So we're just going to see if we can do that by remote control. Here goes nothing. Wow, okay. Keeper. You're bang on. Although you don't get the cool sound. You have to be in the main cockpit for that. In the actual main grid, at least. Where's Earth-like? Where did we jump to? Well, that's Mars. There it is. Somehow we jumped kind of under it or something. Yeah, of course. I'm aiming from here and not from the main cockpit. Right, so for the rest of this bit, ideally I should be in there to do this properly. Right, so we're not far away. The moon is there, 400 kilometers away. I think what we're going to do is start moving towards the Earth. Let's get ourselves aligned to the sun so we can get a little bit of extra solar power on here. Now, when I park this thing, I need to try and make sure I park it in such a way that it's going to get some sunlight at least once a day. Yeah, so that works. You can remote control a jump drive, confirmed, but it is still better to do it in the cockpit. But if you're remote controlling a jump drive, that still does open the possibility of remote control smart bombs. Jump drivable smart bombs. And with that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave that here. We will make the final jump on the next episode and get down to the Earth-like planet and go and find some cobalt, maybe top up on some ice as well, and start doing runs using this jump drive to get the materials back to Earth. Sooner or later we're going to be up to the alien planet as well, so I don't think we'll make it to the alien planet next episode, but we'll do it on the one after. So yeah, with that, I'm going to bid you all a fantastic weekend, week, or whatever time you're watching this. Have a good one, and we'll catch you next time. Bye.